All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are going to unlock a really powerful tool, one that's going to completely change how you see the competitive landscape in your MarkStrat simulation. We are moving from simple maps to real strategic vision.
So, for the last 6 weeks or so, you've been getting the hang of things, right? You've been making your big commercial decisions using these semantic scale maps, and you've gotten pretty good at reading them and making your moves.
But what if there's a whole other layer to this? A deeper way to see how consumers really think? Because to truly dominate the market, you can't just see a piece of the puzzle. You need to see the whole board.
And this, right here, is it. This is a multi-dimensional scaling map, or MDS map for short. Now, it might look a little more complex at first, but trust me, this thing is your key to understanding how consumers are actually grouping brands and competitors in their own minds.
So what's the big deal? What makes this map so different? Well, let's dive into that. We're about to move way beyond looking at just one attribute at a time.
Okay, this slide really gets to the heart of it. The old maps you've been using, their axes represented a single, straightforward attribute, like price. Simple. But MDS maps, they're different. Their axes represent these integrated dimensions, big, powerful concepts like overall performance that are actually made up of a bunch of different ideas rolled into one. And that's exactly what a multidimensional scale is. It's an axis that's not just one thing. It's this really sophisticated mix of a whole bunch of variables that come together to represent a single, complex, and frankly more human idea. I mean, think about it. When you judge a product's performance, it's not just about one feature, is it? It's a whole feeling you get from a combination of things. That's what this scale is designed to capture.
Okay, so we've established these maps are powerful. Now for the fun part. Let's get practical. How do you actually read one of these things to pull out those game-changing insights?
The number one rule, the most important thing to remember, is actually super simple. Proximity means similarity. The closer any two dots on this map, the more similar they are in the minds of your consumers. That's it. We're literally mapping out perceptions. So what you're looking at is a plot of your brands, your competitors' brands, and the ideal points for all the different consumer segments. It's like a snapshot of the market's collective mind. It shows you how they see you, how they see the other guys, and what they actually want.
And check this out. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Look down in that bottom right corner. See that little group? The ahorradores, or the saver segment, is clustered super tightly with the brands Soft and Most. They're all huddled together.
So, what does that tell you? Just seeing them that close together, what can you guess about how the saver segment perceives the value of those two brands? See, this is the kind of deep, strategic question the MDS map lets you ask.
Now, all of this naturally leads to a really big question. If these axes aren't just simple things like price, then where on earth do they even come from?
Right? I bet that's what you're thinking. How do you take a complicated idea like performance and turn it into a single line on a chart? How are these incredibly powerful dimensions actually constructed?
And you know what? That is a fantastic question. The honest answer is, the statistical magic behind it is pretty complex. It's not something you can just figure out by staring at the map. This explainer is all about teaching you what the map is and how to use it for strategy. But don't worry, we're not leaving you hanging. Here's how you get that deeper knowledge. Your professor is going to break down the technical side of how these dimensions are built in this week's webinar. Seriously, try to be at the live session so you can get a full explanation and ask questions. And hey, if you can't make it, the recording will be there for you later.
Okay, let's bring it all back home. Why did we just spend all this time on a new type of map? What is your strategic advantage here? Why does this really matter for the decisions you're about to make in the simulation?
Here's the bottom line. These maps give you a window directly into the perceptions of human beings. They help us understand how real people see the world, how they see our brands, and how they see our competitors. It's about getting a richer, more accurate picture of the consumer's mind.
So look at it this way. This map shows you the entire battlefield of perception. You can see the clusters of opportunity, you can see where the competitive threats are, and you can see which customers feel like nobody is talking to them. The map gives you the intelligence. So the only question left is, what's your next move?